Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, and welcome back to Let Us Play. I'm your host, Father Evans. Good to be back with y'all on this morning. Emphasis on the good morning, I suppose. But it's good to see y'all. Good to see Britt, Jimothy Pepper, Bad Roxy, Gail. Good to see y'all. Yeah, surprise morning stream. I'm flying home this evening. Super excited about that. And I didn't want to miss 2 Thursdays in a row, so I'm like, you know what? I don't really have a ton else going on because I'm getting ready to go on a trip. I'm packed. Let's have a stream. So we're gonna be diving back into some Roller Coaster Tycoon. Got to get that set up. Of course, the capture doesn't actually want to see it. Why would it want to do that? There we go. So I was thinking maybe doing something from Roller Coaster Tycoon too, because last time we did this, we tried the whatchamacallit, the Tiny Park, and we failed. Can't win at everything. Oh yes, Britt, you have claimed the crown of Fursendom for this day. An extra long Fursendom, for it will not be reset until Monday. Let's see. Botany Breakers, Alpine Adventures. Let's do Botany Breakers, why not? So your challenge is to build a high-profit park on this Paradise Island. Oh. Achieve monthly income from rides of at least 10K. Okay. Let's immediately pause and see what we have to work with. Oh, we just have an island. Ooh. And it's very lumpy. It's okay, we'll make it work. We will make it work. First things first, let's get some food stalls. Iced tea, cotton candy. Do I not have anything like actual food? I have all these drinks. Oh, there we go. Sandwich. Sandwich. I think I want to have the path go up that way. So I'm not going to build right there yet. Sure, lemonade. Put that right across from the bathroom. Don't read too much into it. But what we might be able to do... Yeah, we can... Actually, what if... Ooh. Because if we build there, we can build the entrance. We can build the exit right there. So you don't have to worry about a path to it. Someone claimed first, faster than yesterday. Indeed, they did. Oh, this is slightly too high. Oh well. That would probably be good to put, like, later on. That's not where I want that. Entrance there. And exit there. There we go. I should probably hire some staff, shouldn't I? Handyman, mechanic, security guard. There we go. So now right when they walk in, it has this like boardwalk feeling, and I kind of like that. So anything more exciting we could build along it? Boat hire will be nice because we could just plop that somewhere along the water line and go, have fun, children. Wouldn't mind a transport ride kind of circling this. We'll see how that goes. It looks like maybe I'll just build the boat hire. Kind of right here. So all we really need is an entrance and an exit. I'm good friends with one of the people you're staying with, but low-key fangirling a tiny bit because I'm working remotely today from the desk he streams from. Nice. Guess can't get to the boat hire. I know, I'm working on it. Guess they're so needy. Let's see, let's continue this path this way. The diocese office is closed, but means work from home as long as you have power and internet. Wow, that's kind of rough. Not gonna lie. That seems like a very Florida response, though. Why are these all so huge? Like, I get it. You're very proud of the size of this amazing wooden roller coaster you've designed, but please, my park is tiny. How much is that going to cost us? $11,000. I don't have that kind of money. Oh, the park is closed. No wonder no one can reach anything. Thanks for telling me, game. You'll be likely working remotely tomorrow as well. That makes sense. I mean, just because the storm has passed doesn't mean that the water has receded. Sorry, Tropical Paradise. We need to remove some of your vegetation here. Our nice symmetric viewpoint. I can't tell what's what. Did that even connect? I don't think that even connected. There we go. Now that connected. Oh, there was a poll. What was this poll? How much milk do you like with the cold cereal? There's one correct answer and it didn't win. Chad, I'm not surprised. I'm just disappointed. Father Evan likes soup. I don't know if it's necessarily soup, but definitely plenty. Plenty is a word I would use. I do like soup, though, like in general. Oh, that's not even connected properly. Mark. There we go. What was this new ride we got? Twister? Ah, perfect. Depends on the cereal. Ooh, also a valid answer. Okay, we have 5 rides, and we still have $3,000. That's pretty good. We have a duck. Let me click on the duck. Yes. The duck quacks. We still have plenty of space. But basically to do anything, I have to terraform. Okay, construction aside. Yeah, construction and landscaping aside. We are losing money. Just go ahead and pay off $1,000 of the loan right now. Lower the interest a little bit. Junior Coaster, Steel, Wild Mouse. Wild Mouse might be a good one to build because those can be pretty compact. Oh, I don't have enough money. Well, time to take out more of a loan. I look forward to not having enough money to complete the path to get folks to this. Nope, wrong way. I don't think that's right. This is a very whippy little coaster. And I can't even... Just need to move the entrance. Okay, we'll put the entrance there, I guess. So I'm going to have to modify this other path. Go around it. Wrong way. Okay, we have slightly less than $200 left with a shiny new coaster. Also good to see a Nanakit. We need more money, so time to drive up the prices. I drove them up too high. You see how the lines are empty now? Well, boat hire's still fine. I need to lower some of these. That one's fine. Merry-go-round will need to go down a bit. Slide will definitely need to go down. I'll lower the coaster just a wee bit. What cereal? Most mornings I have Cheerios. You're having big shredded wheat. Are you talking like just like the brick? The brick of shredded wheat? Yes. Fair enough. Three bricks per sleeve, 6 sleeves per box. That is expensive. It is. So isn't everything expensive right now? Isn't that the problem? I don't know. I'm not an economist. Merry-go-round has no path leading from its exit. What? Oh, yeah, it is up too high, isn't it? Well, no wonder no one's wanting to get on it. They can't... Oh, look, they jump off. They're fine. But then everyone runs away, it looks like? I don't know. I don't know. People are getting in line and they're getting back on the path. I think they're fine. Okay, we're making money. We're making money. Because when we completed the coaster and all the pathing, we were about just under $200. Now we're just under $700. So, yeah, look at that. We're in the black. We're in the black, people. This is good. This is good news. Do you want ants? Live in Florida, apparently. But you won't tell me how much it costs. Ah, there we go. When I put it on a viable spot. Okay, 1,300. We could probably afford that soon. So maybe put the mini cars somewhere around here where it was letting me. Mini cars on the beach. You ate ants? No, they're good in protein. protein at breakfast is a healthy choice. Are you saying breakfast shouldn't be a healthy choice? I mean, I am a fan of dessert for breakfast. That's why I like things like pancakes and crepes. Oh, I meant crepes with a C. CREPES. I'm middling on grapes, honestly. I like what they can become. That should be enough to work with. Let's put the entrance more over there. Exit there. They did surgery on a grape? Speaking of old memes, what popped into my head today, of all things, was shoes. And I was thinking, what if I made a random sound button on my Stream Deck of just like old millennial memes? But then I was in someone else's chat and I referenced shoes and only one person got it. It was just like, I feel old. Nope, wrong path type. The asymmetricness, it is throwing me off. You had the best breakfast? What did you have? Do I need to lower these further? Is that what's going on? Oh no, the isometricness is just like throwing me off, and that's not even remotely where I am. That's what's going on. Because right now, this is actually over this building right here. Has nothing to do with the ground right here. Breakfast casserole with eggs, cheese, onion, and peppers. Ooh, tasty. We did it! We figured out the system. And immediately I'm going to drive the price of this up. And slightly back down because everyone's walking away from it. Everyone's still walking away from it. Fine. It'll be $1.60. It'll only be 10 cents more than the initial asking price. What do you mean it... Oh, they want something more thrilling. Well, I can't change that. Go on the roller coaster, then. I want to go on something more thrilling. Oh, roller coaster's too thrilling. People are impossible. That is the crux of RCT. Well, yeah. You exclusively built 2 scary coasters. That tracks. Merry-go-round has no exit. Oh no! What do all the people do? They're just gonna fall out of the exit and be fine. It's just a big step, people. Come on, big steppy. Hey, look, it's the day the merry-go-round broke down. Hey, Mithril. The merry-go-round isn't ADA compliant. The ADA in OSHA doesn't exist on this island. Listening while finishing work, very nice. I probably want another coaster, but, like, that costs money. Ooh, free fall. That I can build relatively easily. Because it's just a 3x3. He says, failing to find a 3x3 area. Although... Okay, does that actually connect on the exit, though? I think so? Yeah, it should. Oh, it's already April of year 2. How is... One of the things that... So, OpenRCT automatically puts it at double speed, which is nice because, you know, the game is a little slow. But sometimes it can shoot right past you and you're like, oh, dingoes have kidneys. So what's my goal? Annual monthly income of $10,000 from ride tickets. Currently, ride tickets, we are making about 1,000. So in about a year and a half, we need to make that 10 times higher. Okay, you know what? Fine. We're going to... Yes, we will demolish that. That's not going to work either, actually. I need to just remove this path and start over. There, now that's lined up. Nope. Safest park in the country, let's go! Surely that has to boost sales. Why is no one on... They think it's too expensive. Fine. I want something more thrilling. Goes to the boat hire. I have. Vanity of Vanities. I mean, I basically just gave what I would do as a reflection already. Vanity of Vanities. What a baller line. Koholeth really knows what's up in Ecclesiastes. And we get an interesting juxtaposition between Vanity of Vanities and Herod looking, hearing these reports of Jesus and being like, He knows he's gonna get called out. Why are y'all vomiting at the mini ride? At the mini cars? Like, come on. Time to hire a second janitor, I guess. Ecclesiastes is written when Solomon was in a cheerful mood. If you can't handle me at my vanity of vanities, you don't deserve me at my, I don't know, stern as death is love. What kind of dingy slides can I build? We have Demon Drop. We have Demon Drop. Well, that one already has the path thing figured out for you. Well, that's convenient. That one looks pretty compact. Editor's voice. It was not compact. Don't know where I'm going to build a station for this now, but it is early. Why is stream happening before I'm caffeinated? Good morning, comradeski. I don't know why I'm doing a bad Russian accent. It's because I'm flying today. And I have to get to the airport early. Because it's going to take me... Really, you look pretty stationary. Listen, you. You're doing pretty well for not being caffeinated. Starfruit? Wait, does that mean they have the Pow Pow fruit in Roller Coaster Tycoon? No, I gotta get there early because I gotta get through security. And also, the UN is meeting every year. Every year they think they have to meet. What is this? The United Nations... Wait. Okay, but real talk, when the UN meets, it basically shuts down half of Manhattan. The UN doesn't even do anything. I would disagree with that, but it's neither here nor there, and I'm certainly not an expert. But, like, because they meet in New York, all of Eastern Manhattan gets shut down because it's all dignitaries. And, like, I get the importance of security. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. But it does make a headache, because if you're trying to get out of Manhattan headed east, you know, like to the airport, you gotta go all sorts of extra weird ways. Hurricane's not really affecting where I am. I'm north and I'm going west, so, like, Hurricane has no impact on my particular travel. It does complicate the travel network as a whole, but... Does it slow down the subway? No. So I'll be taking the subway, but here's the thing. The subway takes like 90 minutes from where I am to get to the airport. So I'm planning out time, and I know security at JFK can be a pain, so you've taken that subway ride. Well, there you go. When determining how many countries there are, many people defer to the very important building on the green screen behind me. Mapman. Yes. I have seen that building at a distance. That's about it. I should like to actually go and get, like, a tour at some point. I have a couple connections, but not a lot. Let's pay off some of our debt. Okay, we're up to 2,000, and it's June of year 2. We're getting up there. And paying off the debt will help, because right now loan interest has been 150, so that'll go down to probably closer to 122. Do you know if you have to do the grueling Concourse B marathon? I don't know which concourse I'm flying into, to be honest, Roxy. And you've just reminded me of the existence of that. Knowing my luck, it will be the B concourse. Anything but Delta is B? B it is! This is why among other reasons, I fly Delta. But in this particular circumstance, I had to use another airline. We had free-floating credit with it, so we needed to use it up. Had a friend fly in last night, 12-hour delay in Chicago, and then B concourse started making jokes about Pioneer tracks. Wow. There's a Utah joke. Company secret. Chad is just full of Utah jokes today, apparently. We are familiar with the culture. Yeah, but not everyone in chat is. Only one Mitch makes that game card like, no. Chat, you drive me to drink. Your chat is disproportionately Utah. It is. I will give it that. It's funny because I seem to have a fair amount of audience in like the South, like Florida and the Carolinas, Tennessee. Not a lot of fellow New Yorkers. We're too busy at Wall Street doing our job. $3,759. Okay. I've been to both Utah and New York. That counts, right? Basically. Look, one of them I would visit for culture. One of them I would visit for outdoor stuff. It's like as a general person, I should say, not necessarily my personal reasons, but we've been to 39 states. I found out Opossum Blossoms has been to all 50. We don't do outdoor stuff. I like hiking. And the merry-go-round is broken down again. Okay, we're not getting to that anytime soon, but let's see something. Okay, so no one's saying it's too expensive. Still hiking, but more level switchbacks. Yeah, fair enough. And I suppose there are wild fauna that you still need to watch out for. I don't count airports or pass-throughs. It's fair. That's still very impressive. 39 is pretty good. I should do accounts at some point. Oh no, U0709 is broken down. That's terrible. I love U0709. Perkadoo. Give me the lowdown on who St. Teresa of Avila is and what makes her relatable. My reflection for work on the readings for next month falls on her feast day. I don't know hardly anything about her, but would like to tie into her feast day if I can. Okay. Yes. I'm working on it. It's not my fault they keep throwing up all over the place. Teresa of Avila is awesome, first of all. Love her. She was a Spanish mystic in the 16th century. And it was very common practice at that time to be sent away to the monastery as young women to await for a suitor to be married. And so the young women who were in the monastery didn't take it very seriously. And she was like, no, we need to take this very seriously. And so she actually kicked off, along with John of the Cross, the major reform in the Carmelite tradition that led to the Discalced Carmelites becoming a thing. She had a great way of praying, and I highly recommend this form of prayer for people who are struggling to pray. She would sit in her room with a chair across from her, and she would just have a conversation with Jesus. Like, she would just imagine him sitting there and just have a conversation. Plain and simple. No thee, thy, thous, no great language. Just like, what up, Jesus? How was your day? Let me tell you about mine. And I love that. And she had this great moment. So she wound up founding several monasteries around Spain, the Iberian Peninsula. Your father's side comes from Avila. Awesome. I'd love to go sometime. And at one point, when she was traveling, the cart she was on flipped over and pinned her down for a while, and her immediate response was to look up to heaven and say, "This is why you don't have more friends." And I love that. New ride, stand-up roller coaster. That's not very helpful, actually. So what was it? Was it a water slide? Yeah, it was this water slide we were looking at building, I think. Maybe, maybe not. Wasn't a coaster, was it? Sounds great based on the description. You're welcome. She was also a doctor of the church. I do think it was this one that we were going to try to build out here. But now I can't see anywhere where it's letting me build it. No, it was a Virginia Reel, that's what it was. It was Crazy Nights. There. $3,759. Oh, look, it's 88 degrees on this island. It's almost as hot as it is in Utah right now. Do I take out a loan of $2,000? I guess that's only $20 more a month, because that's where we were. And I think having this new ride would really go a long way. And I'm out of money, so I'm going to need another loan. Okay, so we'll build that like that. There. We'll build it like that. Open that up, increase its price slightly. And let's put some garbage cans and benches around it. Ah, yes, the Eisner approach. More rides, new rides. Make my teenage son thinks that I'm cool. I feel called out right now, and I don't even know who you're talking about. Maybe I should do a second boat hire. It seems very popular. Oh, I know which Eisner you're talking about. Never mind. It clicked. I don't think I'm doing an Eisner approach. I just think I'm... Consistent theming? Who cares? Name it after a mermaid film that no one remembers or use animations from that movie we never talk about that are in storage. Oh, some commercial needs wrapping pickaxe-wielding construction workers. Yeah, Eisner. That Eisner. Right, the Eisner. The Eisner that's poisoned. The poisonous Eisner. But I've got Kai. I mean, it's an amusement park. I don't need consistent theming. Wait, why is the roller coaster? Why is that closed? Oh, it must have broken down again. I think I could probably hire a second technician. That carousel is cursed, as all good carousels should be. Wish I had a Ferris wheel. I feel like a Ferris wheel would really fit in here. You think you just had a brilliant marketing idea? Well, you certainly had a marketing idea. I have yet to see one that is brilliant, in terms of any marketing idea. I have strong opinions against marketing in general. Can't test... There's not a... Well, can we open it? Oh, no, this one's... It's one of those where it's like it needs a... That needs an actual path. I thought it was like the boat hire where it can just do its own thing. No, I'll build a second boat hire instead. Curse theme park game. Smash together Roller Coaster Tycoon, Planet Coaster with Mascot Horror with intent of activating the curse. I don't know if that's a marketing idea, but I think that's a fine idea for a game. Basically what everyone does in Zoo Tycoon, unleashing the dangerous animals. We have to properly build up to it. So Zoo Tycoon. That's not the right spot. Darn you, isometric views. How much is our other boat hire cost? $1.50? Okay. I mean, you could have alternating gameplay moments where, like, during the day you have to do park management, and then at night you have to do the FNAF thing. It gets so quiet. Big stretch. How are we doing financially? We're making $130 a month, but that also included quite a bit of construction and landscaping. September of year 2, and we're about halfway through the challenge because it's been a year and a half. And we're only at $2,000 a month on income. Don't know if we'll make it this time. I'm sure Marcel Vos fans, or Marcel Vos himself, would probably be screaming at my design, but I'm having fun, so... Where are the rest of the boats? Like, I see a couple boats there, but there's... So brown boats are at this one, white boats are at this one. But I feel like some other boats are missing. don't think it's safe to go right underneath this. Could be wrong, but, you know, it just doesn't seem like a good idea. Costs around $7,000. Looks at wallet. Best I can do is just have 2,000. And it's actually going to cost us about 10,000 by the time we put in with all the landscaping and everything. So that's not happening anytime soon. Tell you what, Twitch chat, I need a quick break, so we will be right back. And we are back, and the screen has gone dark. I love OBS. I love OBS so much. Such a helpful program. Oh, I know I went dark. I pressed the wrong button. Never mind, OBS. You're perfectly helpful. That one's on me. Because I have the game button on my Stream Deck to go to whatever is being played currently. But in the interim, while the gaming PC is broken, I set up a separate scene to do a screen capture. Anyway, it was on me. OBS, you're doing fine. It's hard to keep track of all your technologies That's gangster for computer. You might be able to do a junior coaster. Those look cheaper. Looks at pre-builts. They're not cheaper. Guess you complain. I know it's disgusting. We have handymen working on it. Tell them to get over it. It'll cost us just shy of 5,000. We don't have just shy of 5,000. I don't want to go too much higher on debt. Because we're paying 158 a month. Like, ugh. It's not great. Could be worse. Boat hire. Boat 1 on Boat Hire 2 hasn't returned to the docking platform yet. Check whether it's stuck or stalled. It's a rowboat. If it's stalled, it's their fault. A rowboat can't stall out. It's right there. They're fine. They're having a good time. They paid for it. They'll enjoy it. Like, I suppose I could build a track that they have to follow, but I feel like that defeats the spirit of it. Oh, someone broke my bench. I have to hire security. Another security guard. The length of queues, well... What do you want? It's an amusement park. You go to them to stand in line, people. How's our cash? Oh, it's quite terrible, actually. Mostly because we're just in huge amounts of debt. Yeah, don't research transport rides. Don't research scenery. Don't research shops and stalls. Sun's out! It's the eye of the hurricane already? I think it's only Florida nonsense if there's a gator flying through the air somewhere. Hurricane hasn't even made landfall. Then what's the eye of the hurricane doing there already? See, I'm torn between paying off this loan a little bit or saving up a little bit more for that junior coaster, or just straight up taking out even more of a loan. What's my max loan amount that I can take out? 25K. Feel a lot with that. I suppose that's one way to get your income up. Just have more rides, Fivehead. Well, I think so long as you stay perfectly in the eye, everything's fine, right? I've never been in a hurricane. Don't take any advice from me. Nor financial advice, because I'm just here to say, you know what? What if we just took all this money and built things with it? $9,000? Ah, we got that. It's castle-themed, whatever. I am embracing my ice turnout step 0. Oops. Need to go down one more, I think. I mean, I could give you financial advice as a priest. It's probably not good financial advice, but I could give it. But don't take financial advice from a guy who just took $13,000 out in a loan to buy a single roller coaster because he felt like it. You see, it's so much easier when it's, you know, not real money. look at that. We still have $5,000 left. So we could build that junior coaster even. The Mango Muncher. Does it have a queue line already? I literally can't tell. Yes. Okay, it does. Ah, wrong path type. There, we even got it to connect pretty easily. And garbage cans everywhere for you terrible people. You're gonna litter everywhere like this. Hire a third handyman. Let's try and drop him right there. And he's ignoring it. That is your area, Handyman 3. Get back to it. Why is it so filthy at the observation deck area? There's a tornado watch, too. Man, it's getting more and more interesting. Let's look at our finances. Oh, we're losing a lot of money, but that's because we just built 2 rides. Does this game let you hire management consultants to figure out what the cheapest option is in terms of balancing between spending money on maintenance and calculating how much you expect to pay for lawsuits when people die on rides? What are we, running Adventure Park? Yeah, so debt right now is... Why is it 10%, but we only pay 200 in loans? That doesn't... That math's not mathing. Oh, 10% a year. Oh, that would explain it. And the math still isn't mathing, because it would... How at 200, you can't get to... Because it's 2,500 spread over 12 months. So it's basically $200 a month, with 1 month being 300, I guess? But, like, that math still is weird. We do, however, make $2,300 a month from rides, so that's cool. Let's pay off a little of this debt. Because now with that debt paid off, it should make it a little easier to make a little more money. It'll probably decrease us down by about $40 a month. So not huge, but, you know, helps pay the salaries. What are folks thinking of Crazy Nights? It was great, it was great, it was great, it was great, it was great. Made me sick. So why aren't there more people in line for it? Been queuing for ages. Yeah, there's only like 5 boats. Why don't you go on a roller coaster? $40 is $40. Yep. I mean, penny saved is penny earned. And early to bed, early to rise. I can't do that because I'm always early to bed, but I'm also late to rise. I like sleep. Squeaky cycles. Will it let me even put it anywhere? No, it looks like I'd have to level out the ground proper before being able to place that one. I don't feel like doing that. You guys are complaining about the disgusting state. I'm working on it! It's also their fault. They're the ones who keep making it disgusting. It's a lot better than it used to be. Miniman 2, why don't you take that area? Miniman 3, we're gonna extend your area. Cover that. Handyman 1, you get entrance area up through here. Try to keep them a little more focused, I guess. So since it's election season, you know how everyone is getting spammed with, you know, are you voting for X? Are you voting for Y? Are you voting on this agenda? I want to talk to you about this. You know, all those, like, as, like, literally everything. You're getting those text messages. I got one from someone who's like, help us defend crypto. I'm like, I don't think I'm the guy for you. Yeah, look at that. Loan interest was $300 in March, despite only being $195 the month before. But I got like 3 of those messages in like 20 minutes. It was just like, nope. What do we have until? Oh, we don't have a time limit on this one. A lot of these are like, by the end of year 3, you have to do this. This one doesn't have a time limit. It's just do the thing. So that's exciting. So this one really is going to be a measure of patience, because, like, we still have all this land undeveloped. Keep getting spam texts asking to chat with me about employment opportunities. Oy. You know, if it wasn't for music, I would probably switch to a light phone. Since the park has expanded a good amount, let's add in some amenities. I don't have enough cash to build a bathroom. Space Rings is broken down. That could actually be a potential danger, depending on how it broke down and, like, what position you get stuck in. Now, just because I do have... Oh, he's already fixing it. What do people think of Siege Breaker? I have 2 things Themed around knights, apparently. Good value, good value. That means I can make it pricier. Good value, good value, good value. Guess what? Good value gets it 20 cents. So I want something worth thrilling. I want something worth thrilling. It's an observation tower. It's not meant to be thrilling. It's meant so you can look at everything and say, ooh, ah. It's good value. I bet it was. Folks still queuing up for Mango Buncher. Yeah. It's just taking them a while. Why are you people so messy? Hiring a fourth janitor. Just to help cover this area. I know the paths are disgusting. The guests are the problem. Doesn't help that the paths are actually pretty spread out, I'm not gonna lie. Meep. Did Meep oh, hi Meep. Are you helping Meep? Good boy. Who smashed my bench? How much am I spending on staff now? OA Bay, over $400 a month. He wants to play too. He usually does. So we're still making money when we're not building things. So that's a good sign. And we crested 3,000 a month on our income from rides, so... He probably doesn't want to play Roller Coaster Tycoon, he probably just wants to play in the park. See, he wants to go for a swim. That or be Godzilla through the park. Currently working on a roller coaster design. Okay. Interesting. I feel like this is definitely a map that is all about patience. Just being willing to sit back, watch it all. You know what's getting on the merry-go-round? Is it too expensive? I'm not paying that much. Okay. Fine, we'll make it slightly cheaper. As we will with the slides as well. Space Rings is fine. Twister... Oh, don't close it. No thoughts, head empty. Still saying it's a really good value. Let's bump it up by 10 cents. Okay, people are now getting back in line for these things. To get off boat higher too. Well, guess what? You could do that at any time you like. You just throw yourself back. What's our park value? Almost 150K. That's pretty good. People saying this is still too expensive? No, they just want something more thrilling. Okay. Be that way. Big are these? Fairly sizable. One of your coworkers used to frequently stop to pray in the church you're at in New York. That's awesome. We do have a beautiful image. I mean, we have several, but yeah, we have some great images of St. Paul in the church. That is awesome. Thank you for sharing. I guess maybe up here on the hill we could build this rapids. So why don't we take out a bit more of a loan? Because that's the nice thing is that The loan's really not much of a constrictor in this one because we don't have to worry about paying it off in the end. And we also can just utilize it as a resource, essentially. But it's nice to be able to pay it off so that we have the option to go, oh yeah, we have this extra money lying around. Guys are the disgusting state. Complaining about the disgusting state of the guests. See-through rides and see-through vegetation. The conversion. Oh yeah, that's above the front door. That was designed by Lumen Winters, who also designed the mission patch for Apollo 13. It's an extremely convoluted path. This park could use more tunnels. And underground coasters? It could. I find those to be extremely finicky to actually build. That's because they are. Really selling me on the idea there, Gale. Okay, now I need to not see through rides so that I can place that. What's in the way? There's a footpath in the way. Okay, that looks like it connected up. Not what I wanted. I want this. Because I know what these terrible people are going to do to a fresh footpath. Space Mountain is a coaster with the tent over it? Yeah. And I'm talking in this game, it's finicky to build underground. Especially if you're just using all the pre-built stuff. What are folks... Are they thinking it's... They want something more thrilling? This looks pretty thrilling. Fine, we'll make it cheaper. Maybe they'll think that's fine. Okay, someone went through. That's something. We'll need to... Handyman 4, what are your paths? Paths are there. Yeah, why don't we cover... Wide distance for tunnels makes it difficult to gauge. Yeah, especially in the isometric, because it's like... Oh, I'm lined up, and then it's like, nope! Going entirely the wrong direction. No, not wrong direction, but along the wrong path. I can't afford Spiral Slide. Well, that sounds like a personal problem. Well, you've spent $85. I don't think I have an ATM unlocked. No. But you know what? If he doesn't have the money for it, I can't help him. I have a dime. What can I buy a ticket to? The exit. You meant 5 of them. Increase your path just a little bit there, so I don't think you're quite getting it. Oh, everything's breaking down. See what I mean? That is 4 rides in a single month. They'll planned this. They want to ruin my finances. Although we did make 3,200 in ride ticket sales last month. That's pretty good. And our food and drink stalls are more or less self-sufficient. In fact, they're helping cover a lot of the staff wages. Not all, but a good amount. So, but I think that's going to be a good place to call it. Let's go ahead and save this in case we ever decide to come back to this. So, thank you so much for tuning in to Let Us Play. I've been your host, Father Evan. It's been good to be with y'all today in this surprise early morning stream. Join us again on Monday. Next week, everything's going to be at the usual time. Monday, we're going to keep playing Chrono Trigger. Really excited about that. I love that game, and I love how the story unfolds. Tuesday, we will be playing Spiritfarer for the month of October for Memento Mori month. Midweek Minecraft will continue. We'll probably have a special Memento Mori project for that. And Thursday, we will be playing the game Loom. It's a point-and-click adventure game, and I love it. It's one of my favorites, actually, of the genre. And I think it fits well with the Memento Mori theme. Thank you so much, everyone, for wishing me safe travels. I'm looking forward to being home and seeing my family and friends. So, be flying out tonight. Should be good. And I think that is all. So thank you to everyone who's liked, followed, subscribed, checked out the Discord, checked out the YouTube. And I hope everyone has a great weekend. And why don't we see who's live to raid into? Gonna send you on over to P Tony. He's coding, and by coding, he's playing solitaire. So classic coding material. So raid call will be wow, much coding. So head on over there, spam the meat morp if you got it, and take care. Have a great weekend, and God bless.